Sometimes it sucks to be wrong, and sometimes it sucks to be right. So, I called something on my podcast yesterday. Well, it was actually Wednesday. And I'll be putting a bunch of links down for my podcast, which is what I like doing better than having to sit here and look at myself. So I've been doing more podcasts, but I still do a vlog from here and there, and this is what I'm doing. I eventually want to get to where I'm recording myself doing podcasts, but I have to set my studio up, get a little better microphone, the whole deal. I'm having a lot of fun doing all these things, but unfortunately, a lot of the subjects I've been doing so far have been crap. You really don't want to dive into a lot of this stuff, and it's like you don't even want to think about it. But yesterday, or Wednesday, I guess it was now, sorry, I had mentioned in my podcast that, the whole Breonna Taylor cop inquisition was coming up, grand jury of Kentucky. And I said, it really doesn't matter. I know what I think the verdict should be, or the non going ahead with charges. I know that it shouldn't happen. And the one police officer did get charged with shooting into the apartments recklessly. Yeah, he deserves that. But none of the other police officers got arrested for murdering Breonna Taylor, which I don't think she was murdered. I think, like I said numerous times on here, on my vlogs, on my podcast, collateral damage in the wrong place, the wrong time, playing with bad people, and it sucks that you're collateral damage, but that's what it is. It's not murder, and people keep saying it's murder and innocently sleeping in their bed. Learn the facts, but I've spoke so much about Breonna Taylor that it's ridiculous. But I said that it didn't really make a difference, but I had a feeling that no cops were going to be charged, which they shouldn't be. I also made the statement that Louisville will burn to the fucking ground if not all the cops are sentenced to death, because that's apparently the only thing that would have worked. And I bet they would have still rioted. They would have still rioted anyway, because it got that far or whatever. They would have come up with an excuse next. I mean, there was U-Hauls pulling up with signs and crap, waiting for the verdict, a planned riot, basically what it boiled down to. Well, the crazy BLMers in Louisville, Kentucky went a little far and decided to start shooting at cops. And 2 police officers were shot. And the cops had enough at that point. And you know what? It's funny because I haven't heard a whole lot since I heard about the cops, and they got the shooter. They found him, and then of course there was comparisons to them, and they found the shooter that quick. Oh, they can find him. They couldn't find this kid in Charlottesville that shot the black church. They handled him with kid gloves, and they're going after this black guy like he's, because he shot a couple cops in Louisville. Blah blah blah. Fuck all that. I'm tired of hearing about that shit. Cops are doing their job and they're getting crucified for it. I back the blue. Always have. Always will. Even though they fucked me over a couple. I've been arrested numerous times, DUIs, and disorderly conduct, and all the stupid shit I did when I was younger. Deserve to get arrested. If I'm breaking the fucking law, I deserve to get arrested. If you do the Breonna Taylor research, you find out that it wasn't what it was made out to be. I think it was set up to like the sweet innocent EMT, sleep in her bed. None of that's fucking correct. Read any reports now. The grand jury report. Read the Tatum report. Read any of this. It's the initial was what everybody hung on to. Oh, the sweet, innocent, not in any trouble EMT sleeping in her bed, wrong address, no knock warrant, the wrong guy, and this guy, the police didn't identify themselves. Well, it was a no knock warrant, so they wouldn't have had to, but they knocked on the door anyway. This guy probably thought it was Jamarcus Glut, her ex. That's what some of the people were saying. Well, he thought it was her ex and getting home invasion, shooting through the door. I mean, those are the kind of people you're hanging out with. Expect bad shit to happen. When you think your ex-boyfriend's going to come and shoot your house up with you in it to get at your current boyfriend, probably not the greatest fucking lifestyle. Sorry. But, I mean, does she deserve to die? No, absolutely not. I've said that from the get-go. That's what people jump in my ass. Well, you think they should have killed her, had free reign to kill her. No. It was a fucking unfortunate thing, man. Unfortunate as hell. But it happens. How can you say a cop murdered somebody? They were shot at through a door, serving a warrant. I mean, you fuck around, you find out, man. These people don't get it. When you're involved in all this drug shit, I mean, I'm a proponent for the weed shit being okay. And you know, that's my personal opinion. I'm not a weed smoker. I don't use it. I know a lot of people that do. They function just fine. They're not criminals. As far as other than smoking weed, leave them alone. It's not hurting anything. The gateway drug bullshit, I don't buy it. I know too many people that have been smoking weed for 20 years and that's all they do. But when you're in the country where the laws are, I don't know what kind of drugs they were involved in with her ex-boyfriend. I don't know what kind of, you know, but the EMT thing, you know, she was released from her EMT duties because they found a dead body in a car, in the trunk, that was registered to her or leased to her or whatever the hell it was, under suspicious circumstances. And she's running around all these messages with Jamarcus Glover when he was in jail about this. You know, anyway, she didn't deserve to die. I give you that. It was an unfortunate crossfire, but it wasn't Miss Innocent got shot in her sleep. So get the fuck out of here with that. To riot over. And all these, you know, here we got Lewis, whatever the fuck his name is. Lewis, the guy, I talked about him before. I can't even remember his name. I'm so pissed about it. It's like, he's a Formula One driver. And Lewis Hamilton. Yeah, that's his fucking name. He's on TV on ESPN about, it's just what I expected. You know, the cops are going to get off with nothing, and he's wearing the shirts and say her name, and it's like, I'll say her name, criminal. What more do you want me to say? Unfortunately shot criminal. She wasn't little miss, you know, say her name. And it's like, I can say her name a million times. She wasn't, whatever. Fuck it. You know, I'm almost to the extent where I can go with Breonna Taylor. Nobody's ever going to agree. They're going to have their side. The facts are going to have their side. I'm going to have the zero side, zero apologies for what I think. I ain't got no zero guilt about it because I think she was a bad person. Not a bad person, but she was around bad people in bad situation. Things got out of control. Things got fucked up. But to riot and then start shooting cops down there because the grand jury, yeah, and well, the grand jury decided not to pursue charges. Your attorney general's as black as Breonna Taylor was, and it's like it's not a race thing. It's a facts thing. Get that straight. It's a facts thing. You guys make it a race thing. Everybody makes it a race thing. Even when I first heard it, it's like, oh, here we go. I mean, I automatically went to it. It's going to be a problem. Because, you know, a black girl getting shot by police, watch out. And that was in March, you know. First heard about it, and I was like, oh, Christ. You know, that was already started. And then, you know, then I always go, when they say Breonna Taylor, I say Duncan Lemp. Look it up. Google Duncan Lemp. Same kind of bullshit. White man in Maryland. You heard nothing. You didn't see riots. You didn't see Potomac burning to the fucking ground. Because the cops in that case weren't charged either. You just don't fucking see that. Because it's not the narrative, it's not the agenda. You see all kind of there's shit slipping through the cracks now where they show more like black people beating cops up, and not they're not getting shot, they're getting wrestled down on the ground. They don't get shot, but they beat the hell out of some cops. And if I was a cop getting my ass beat, if I could reach my gun, they'd be shooting a dead motherfucker. He'd be dead. I mean, I can't praise the cops enough for what they're dealing with the bullshit. And if I ever die at the hands of a police officer, I'm 99% guaranteeing that I was doing some fucking dumb shit. And I deserved what I get at the end. That nobody deserves to die for dumb shit. But we all know what it can lead to. We all know what can happen. So try to take yourself out of that situation and put it somewhere else. Then I seen another post today. This is why I'm rambling here. About how hard it is for people in Chicago. Growing up in the hood, unless you grow up in the hood in Chicago, you'll understand. And that's why they shoot each other, is because they have such a tumultuous life. It's so hard in the hood. It's so hard to... Why? Yeah, I understand it's depressing and you don't have no money, but you got enough money to go out and get a gun. You got enough money to go out and be buying some drugs to get fucking shot over. Don't hand me that book. I mean, that's fucking ridiculous. Oh, I got the hood. You got to live in that. Fuck you. Come on. Are you guys serious right now? I mean, you can tell me you can't live in the hood in Chicago and not shoot a motherfucker? Yeah, if you shoot somebody defending yourself, yeah. But whatever. I mean, I'm not getting into a debate because Chicago's a shithole. They've let it be a shithole forever and ever. Speaking of shitholes, let's go on to the next thing here. Seattle, Washington. What the fuck are you doing out there? I mean, you tried CHOP, whatever the hell it was, that miserably failed experiment in communism, socialism out there, whereas peace and love, the summer of love it was going to be, till motherfuckers start getting shot. And then wait, hold on, wait a minute. People are getting shot. Defund the police anyway, though. Fuck this, defund the police. Because the police are so bad, But when somebody gets shot, the first person you were calling to go in there was the police, who you were saying you needed to defund. So if I was the police in Seattle, I would have told you to get bent. You want to defund me, and you say I'm a cop, I'm hunting you down, systemic racism, systematically hunting all the blacks down and hunting all these people down, and just for fucking sport. It's like game hunting. Oh, fuck. Come on. If you do dumb shit and you know it's fucking wrong and you're going to involve yourself with the police, bad shit can happen. That's not really hard to understand. I mean, the crime rate in Seattle is probably pretty high. And I get it. But see, I don't even understand the whole Seattle thing. I mean, I always thought it was nice. No, I'm used to Seattle, I know. Never been there, but Nirvana, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, Heart, Washington bands. The grunge, just the angst. Yeah, I get the angst, I get the grunge, yeah, Seattle, but Space Needle and shit. That's what I think of Seattle. Sure as hell don't think of CHOP, fucking Chaz. This socialism experiment that went horribly wrong. Well, now they've even topped themselves. These buffoons in Seattle, Washington are going to pay $150,000 a year. I mean, I'd like to have this gig too, $150,000 a year they're going to pay this guy who used to be a pimp. He's got people skills, right? He knows what's going down. Got people skills, so he's a pimp. They're going to pay him all this money to find alternatives to policing. His alternative is going to be back of my pimp hand and shooting motherfuckers. And it's not going to be his little clique. You know, you're going to tell me they don't have a little clique. You know, he's going to say, all right, you know, we'll run this motherfucker. It'll be our place. This will be, you know, my pimp zone. Whatever. Or the left, man. I'm telling you. I don't understand you guys. And then, you know, California, you go the West Coast, man, they're out of their fucking mind over there. But West Coast, you got Gavin Newsom. He's signing something today. I mean, it's kind of off topic a little bit, but I guess he signed this bill today that said they're not going to have any gasoline engines 2035. So 15 years from now, you won't be able to drive a car out there that requires gas. It's going to be all electric. That's a big, tall order. But, I mean, yeah. I'm sure it's because they're worried about the climate. I'm sure it's worried about some fucking leftard thing that's, you know, just not feasible in especially 15 years. Christ. I mean, they're just now getting, you know, electricity's. I just thought that was a strange thing. I mean, I just thought, you know, being around the auto industry at all, it's like, that's going to be a nightmare. Now, there's a lot of people in California that buy cars, but hey, that might not be such a big deal. I mean, they're at least that's something positive, I guess, trying to get emissions out of the air. I get it. I mean, who wants to live in Smog City? I'd be great if there's no pollution in the air. I guess I will say to that, that's not nuts. You know, the SB 145, that's a little bit nuts. You know, with the 10-year gap and the 14-year-old consent age and shit. It's like, I read as much as I could. It's like, I think I fully understand most of it. And I've said this in previous vlogs or podcasts or whatever. The bill itself, I was going to do a whole thing about it, but it's like, you know what? Your oppositions should be common sense. The opposition to a 14-year-old banging a 24-year-old should be not going to happen. That should be, you know, we're not going back to the 50s with Jerry Lee Lewis and Elvis and that. I mean, that's just fucked up. It's kind of like arranged marriage almost. It's like, just let an 11-year-old get married to a 40-year-old dude. I mean, when's the gap good enough? 10 years is still way too fucking much. Unless you're 30 and they're 20, or you're 28 and they're 18 even. I mean, you're 18's a legal age. It's always been what I consider legal. I mean, you can vote, you can go in the army, you could do a lot of things when you're 18. Now, I mean, like, can't smoke or drink till you're 21, at least in Ohio over here. Some states are probably more lenient on that. I don't, and it depends on where you live. Maybe West Virginia, you know, they've always been a little more liberal about, you know, the age limits. Maybe 16 there for legal consent age would be okay, but 14, I mean, that's pretty damn low, man. I mean, there's a lot of 14-year-olds I know aren't mature enough to, you know, walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. They just can't do it. They're not functioning enough, especially when they're doing this 24/7 or this gaming, whatever they're doing, or TikTok videos, whatever the hell they want. They're just not, to me, not mature enough to decide that, hey, I want to go out with a 22-year-old dude. It should be okay with you. I mean, I guess for some people it is. I mean, there's parents that let their, this is a rant, so I'm not sticking on one subject, but there's parents that, 5-year-old kids, they say, well, I don't think you're a boy, we're going to make you a girl. And they transgender them. So, I mean, as sad as it is to say, I guess it's your kid, your life, their life, but man, that borders on child abuse to me. Not because of the transgender thing either. It's just, tell them what they want to, they have to do at 5 years old, what they're going to be. What they're going to be at 5 years old is scary as fuck to me. Because, you know, I know people in their 20s, late 20s, mid 20s, early 30s that still don't know what they want to do. And it's part of life, man. It's like, did I want to do what I'm doing now for a living? No. And, you know, I always wanted to be a rock star. And I played, you know, fiddled around in music for 30 some years. I realized pretty early on I was never going to be good enough to be a rock star, but hey, living the dream. You got to have a dream, right? If your dreams die, you don't have a dream to stand on, then you're just existing. That sucks. I mean, never give up a dream if even if it's this. I'm really excited about doing podcasts now. It's like I'm not even I'm not even in the class with the lower level podcast, but I enjoy doing them because I get to rant, I get to vent, I get them out, and I can go back 6 months from now and listen. What were you thinking during the Wu Flu, you know, riot season of the locust of 2020? And I'll have that forever. And when I think 2021, 2022, whatever it is, and I'm having a bad day, and I go back and say, well, hey, things ain't that bad. Go listen to your podcast. What the hell was going on in 2020? Some fucked up shit, and it has been a doozy of a year. And the best is yet to come. I mean, Jesus. I mean, I kind of knew the Louisville thing was going to blow up. Now we're just waiting for the next thing to come. Is it going to be the gigantic spike of the Wu Flu? Is it going to be election collusion? Is there going to be some kind of election to where the Democrats would cheat to win, and Trump is saying he's admitting that he will, a fair election, he will peacefully transfer the power. But are we going to believe there's a fair? And I don't think either side's going to believe that there's a fair. Whoever wins is going to say, we won, but whoever loses is going to say, no, this is bullshit. Somebody cheated. Somebody cheated. Because even the polls are out now. I mean, I must live in a very secluded area because the polls right now got like Biden winning by 5%. I'm like, where the hell are these people here? I mean, I might see 10 Biden signs, and so far this year, I think I've seen maybe 10. And I can't get away from Trump. I mean, Trump signs everywhere. Hell, I got 5 flags of Trump myself. But people are very vocal about their love for the Orange Man. It's like, I'm included. I want to see Trump win because my life was pretty fucking good before the Wu Flu, the George Kirby, and everything else that went on after that. Breonna. All this shit. And I know I live in a small town and I'm not in the big cities and I don't have to deal with the police brutality that bigger cities do. And it's like they have a lot more crime to deal with. They got all this. But I go back to Chicago. It's like they say, because they grew up so destitute and they're so desperate. Have you ever, and I understand mental health, it makes you do crazy shit, but it's never going to make me go shoot a motherfucker. I mean, I might be showing my small town privilege, which of course will be stretched into white privilege because everything I do is white privilege. I don't understand, and I don't understand what it's like to be a black man, and you don't have a clue if you're a black man what it's like to be a white man. Maybe you wouldn't like it, maybe I wouldn't like that. I don't know. Who gives a fuck? Why can't we just not look at color completely? I don't get it. You think cops look at guys and some white people in situations deserve more than they got, and black people deserved less. I understand it's never going to be a perfect world, but I just don't see that all the videos I've ever watched, only except the one. His name, I keep getting his name wrong. I think I got it right this time. It's Felipe Castillo. And it was in Philadelphia. I'm pretty sure of that. I tried to look all this stuff up, believe it or not. But I don't write it down like an idiot. So I wasn't even planning on vlogging tonight. I just said, watching the news, of course, and fucking all you hear. And I said, well, I'm going to do it anyway. And I know very few people watch this, and some people are going to think I'm a total dick for, some of the comments about Breonna or the fuck Chicago thing. It just irritates me that there's always excuses from the left, and the right tries to say anything, then we make an excuse and we're, oh, look at them, they're lying, they're fucking lying, blah blah blah. I'm just saying the facts are some. The only thing maybe that I might have spoke out of turn so far is Chicago. Okay, I get it. I don't know what it's like to live in the hood. Maybe my destitute ass would be fucking shooting people left and right. God, who knows, man. I just, I'm fortunate and I'm blessed and I admit that. But not, I'm never going to admit or think that systematic systematically hunted down by the cops. Systemic racism's everywhere. Everybody's oppressed. You deserve reparations. Everything should be. No, I'm not gonna go. I'm not doing all that shit. I mean, I have too many good people have said we're not oppressed, and they understand that this country, compared to majority of other countries in the world, is the best there is. I'm looking at all the immigrants that come here. Why the fuck do you think they come here? Just for the free ride? I mean, do you think it's because they know they can get food stamps for nothing, blah, blah? Some of them, yeah. The other ones, their countries are fucked up. I mean, the Mexicans want to get down here because there's no jobs down there. It's poor. It's fucking infrastructure sucks. They want a better life. People migrate from even Africa, South Africa, Africa, because Africa's just not the place to be. I mean, it doesn't have everything the America has. It's not. The Canadians, got it pretty good, but basically they don't have to have any of this bullshit because anybody starts to fuck around with North America, and the United States is coming. We're like the big brother for everybody, and some of that shit, I'm this is where I lean a libertarian kind of stance, I guess. Stay the fuck out of everything else. And I thought Trump was doing a pretty good job. He's doing peace deals in the Middle East. He's doing to the liberals. It's never enough, It's orange man bad. I seen something about somebody stretched. This is a real fucking stretch. Pedophiles, everybody don't. As far as I know, everybody I know, fucking save our children is important, and pedophiles are fucking the lowest form of scum. Lower than a murderer to me. I mean, they're right on par with a fucking rapist. And in my mind, I know this is off topic, or a rapist, pedophile, and a fucking thief are all three the same. Disgusting. That's just how I look at it. You're gonna steal from me? You're gonna steal from fucking when I work my ass off because you just say it's there, I'm gonna take it. And if you're a fucking piece of shit, that's why you're gonna take it. All that stuff. Level scum. Bottom. Well, now they're coming out. This tweet I seen today. And it just fucking aggravated me. And I'm not saying it doesn't have a single bit of merit, but I'd like to see the proof about it before you start badgering. I mean, underage is what got me. Because they're saying this tweet that where Trump would go to Miss America pageants and talk about banging all the pussy backstage of these underage girls. I mean, I want to see the proof of the underage part of it. If they're 19, 20 and he's 40 something, hey, good on you, man. Who gives a shit? A lot of people do that stuff. If you're over legal age and you're attracted to an older fucking dude because he's got money or whatever, girls do it all the time. The fucking cougar syndrome or whatever, vice versa, and all that stuff. But they say, how can you be against pedophiles when your president brags about banging underage girls? I mean, personally, I'd have to see that they're underage. But if they are, he's a disgusting fuck too. He's on bottom level scum. I'm not going to stick up for him if that's actual truth. That he was in his 40s or 50s and banging 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds, whatever, at these pageants, then fuck him. I mean, he's a scumbag human being. But even at that, I mean, you're just trying to you're just pedophile loving there, to me. It's like you're saying, oh, it's not so bad. Pedophiles aren't so bad because the president's like that. Blah blah blah. You know, and however twisted bullshit they want to do it. But getting with that is, it's always something. I mean, if anything can be bad, it's pointed at the Orange Man. You know, Orange Man bad is like it's a mantra for fucking and anything left, radical left or mid left. You know, and it's like all this in the midst of everything else we got going on. Then you got this horse shit, and it's probably a tweet from, I don't know, 1975. Somebody dug up a statement. Hell, who knows? And like I said, if he's doing that, he's a fucking scum. He's a scum of the earth. But here's the kicker for that. Here's the kicker. A lot of presidents have been fucking scum of the earth, but not a lot of presidents have gotten results that Trump's got. I'm just saying it straight out. You guys are so pissed that a non-politician who doesn't have this need for fucking money, he's taking no salary. He's arrogant as fuck, but he's earned the arrogance because he's got money out his ass. He don't need to be doing this. He's 70 some years old. He could be living and kicking back on Bora Bora. But he gave a shit about wanting to make the country a little better for maybe his son, his youngest son to grow up, his daughter and his other two sons. Maybe he wanted to make a difference in their life. Because he knows he's in the waning hours of his. Even if he lives to be 90s, he's got, he's 70 some years old, 74, I think, 75, something like that. So he took it upon himself to go do that. To try to do the best for the country. And at every fucking turn, he gets badgered with it. So you want Sleepy Joe. This is your alternative. Sleepy Joe Biden to go in there. And I seen some people that say, how can you vote for Biden? Oh, I can, and I will, because Biden's a better choice. 47 years, man. 47 years this motherfucker's been in politics. Hasn't done a goddamn thing. He was vice president. Yeah, he was vice president for an administration that was fucking terrible. What did he do in the 90s? Oh, he wrote the bill kind of handcuffing black people. Now he's telling them, if you don't know, you're not voting for Trump and you're not voting for me or whatever the hell he said, you ain't black. My favorite Sleepy Joe, one of my favorite Sleepy, the 200 million dead from coronavirus, that was laughable. But I like the old, poor kids can be just as good as white kids. Oh, they can be just as talented as white kids. Poor kids. Who's thinking in color there? And you got Heels Up Harris, who blew and fucked her way to the top of the political ring here. And really doesn't hide it. I mean, they say stuff about her all the time. She's kind of got that smirk on her face like, yeah, so what? She's the same moron that told Jacob Blake she was proud of him for being a fucking criminal, a thug. He got shot and got over $1 million in his GoFundMe pay. Like, other than being paralyzed, if you want to tag me a couple times in the back for $500,000, do a little bit of damage, but don't fuck me up too bad. I'll take it. Maybe I get old Kamala to come make me feel better and call me a hero and a martyr. And they're always looking for a new martyr, The martyr of the week is Breonna Taylor because it was her court time. It was Jacob Blake before that. It was Aubrey the Jogger before that. George Kirby, before that. And, Fentanyl Floyd, whatever the fuck they call it. It's always been somebody. It's always been something. But, here we go. I'll go back to my story. Breonna Taylor, Duncan Lemp, same time. One outcome this way because it's a black woman. One outcome the other way because it's a white man. And who's pushing what? The narrative's always there. We try to show videos of white people getting killed by the cop, and it's always that's nothing. It's just blown away. It says, no, we're not going to make a big deal because maybe it's people like me that aren't outraged enough to go, we're going to burn this motherfucker. Because I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to burn shit down where I might be pissed. I might even be able to go to fucking protest it. I might be try to get the laws changed, whatever. Burning my own city down absolutely does nothing for me or the white people. So why do you think burning your own city down in wherever you live is going to benefit anybody? You scream it in the Black Lives Matter tone. In the name of Black Lives Matter, you scream it. You scream it. You fucking scream it. Black Lives Matter, and go burn the shit down. That helps people, yeah. That helps black people. Especially a guy that worked his ass off all his life to have a business in his own neighborhood that he grew up in, and a bunch of soy latte, GMO, bagel eating motherfucking twat not wearing cock smoker fucking liberals come into your town in your name. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. And they fucking ruin your shit. And it's fucking amazing to me because like they said, I seen a report today that like 61% of all black Americans don't want this shit. They do not want this shit. So you're talking 60 some percent. So that's like 7% of the population of blacks, because they're 13% of the country. So 6% of the country that is of color, black. I'm going to say black. I'm not saying African American, because I think that would be, to me, calling somebody an African American not knowing where their family's from is kind of demeaning. It's like, not all blacks are from Africa. I mean, they can come from other countries. It's not, you're labeling them that, and you don't even know they could be Jamaican. We'll get on that another time. But what I'm getting at with this last part of my rant, because I know I'm going long again, I'm trying to cut down. When you listen to my podcast, I'm going to try to keep them. I'm trying to keep them about 40 minutes. I did pretty good. The very first one I did was 45 minutes, and then I think the second one was an hour, because it was about a lot of mental health and stuff. It was more of a potpourri of why the fuck I do this anyway. And then the third one was pretty solid, 40 minutes. It tried to stay on the topic. So that's what I'll do. My vlogs will be this bullshit, rambling. And then hopefully when I get my podcast, I'm recording them now, but I do those on, right now I've been doing them on like Monday nights and Friday nights or something like that. And I'm going to try to keep doing them Friday nights and throw a vlog in here and there. But I want to start recording my podcast, do a vlogcast kind of thing. But I just want to jump on here tonight, get some shit off my chest. I mean, like I said, I always try not to offend people, but it's like, you can have your opinions, and I can be the biggest asshole in the world, and I'm okay with being the biggest asshole in the world, because I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna apologize. Zero apologies, zero guilt. That's what I'm talking about, because this is my opinion. Freedom of speech, which was my last podcast, is fucking still intact in this country right now. And there's been people trying to tell me what to do forever and say, and it's gotten worse here lately. Ain't gonna work. And like I said, I can be an asshole to you. And I think I shared a post on one of my pages today that was pretty much how I feel about things. I will treat you accordingly. Some people think I'm great. I'm a happy-go-lucky guy. They like to be around me. Some think I'm an asshole. They would just rather put a slug in my fucking head than to hear me speak or see my face. And that's okay, because I'll treat you accordingly. And, like, I have no problems debating. And if you're going to threaten me with some violence, like some of the keyboard ninjas like to do when I'm posting on a site on Facebook or something, Telling one guy, saying, "Oh, give me your address. I'll come see you." Ah, fuck you, man. Fuck you. If you can't just debate, it's kind of like the old school where you squared up with a motherfucker. You know, it's like, you want to fight? Let's fucking do it. Now it's like, you want to fight? You've got that gun out. Fucking, I'll put a cap in your ass, motherfucker. Is really? Is this where it's all over there? We can't just squash this shit. I mean, everything can be debated and talked about and squashed out. Nobody wants to do it anymore. It's all a fucking run to violence. It's just like all these riots. It's like protesting, fucking fantastic protest. I want to protest some shit, and if I want to protest, I'm going to go do it peaceably to the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States. I'm not going to burn shit down. I'm not going to. I'm not going to fucking shoot at cops. I'm not going to defund the fucking police. I'm a conservative, white, city Billy motherfucker from Ohio. This is how I am. This is who I am. I'm not going to change because I don't feel that I'm in the wrong here. Some things I do. Some things I say and do. I look back on them, and I've admitted in past episodes of stuff, I fucked up. I screwed the pooch. I thought about it a little more. I said, yeah, I probably jumped the gun on that. Knee-jerk reaction, which people do. I don't think a riot's a knee-jerk reaction. I think it's pretty much Louisville's was planned out. You could just see that it was planned out. Any excuse to fucking have a riot. The Wendy's thing with Rayshard Brooks, they burnt the fucking Wendy's down where it happened. 2 days later, that shit was oh fuck. Yeah, I've seen a video. Motherfucker was doing wrong thing in wrong place. Ooh, maybe we fucked up. They're never going to say that because it just doesn't fit the narrative. They're going to say, oh, Rayshard was a sweet soul. Fucking child abusing motherfucker. But anyway, I'm getting off. So I'm going to link a bunch of links from my podcast down there on the description for this video, this vlog number 6. Vlog number 6. Hey, I'm moving up in the world. So if you happen to see this and you catch one of the links, hey, check out my podcast. Fuck, you can listen to that in the car or whatever. I listen to podcasts now. It's one of my things I do. I listen to ZTO TV out of Lima or Kenton. I mean, I think they're both, and they got some cool shit, some funny stuff. And, just regular podcast. Mike Rowe, I've listened to Mike Rowe. I've listened to Glenn Beck and Savage and Dan Bongino. I don't know. I don't want to pronounce his name wrong. But I listened to his show, Ben Shapiro. And it's just a fun thing to do. I understand why they do it for a living. I wish I could. If I could do that instead of going to work every day, I'd be a happy man. But I mean, I know that's I should have started that 30 years ago if I wanted to do it. But it's a fun time, and it's very, like I said, it's just for me. It's therapeutic for me anyway. So I feel better sitting here talking to my iPad in my office. That's all I need to do. So I got to do my normal. I'm trying to do sign-offs now, which is trying to make myself look professional, even though I'm just sitting here talking to myself. But it's Mikey from the 0 Hours. It's telling you to trust and believe in your convictions at all times. Stay safe out there. Check out my podcast. I'll see you next time. Peace out.